Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market, where today we're looking at this lovely specimen here. Now, most of you will have no idea what this plant is. You'll guess. Maybe it's giant reed, maybe it's some kind of corn. You're in the right family. This plant is a member of the Poaceae family, and its scientific name is Saccharum officinarum, sugar cane. And in this case, it's pink sugar cane, though the pinkish color is not showing in its second year of growing, but I assume that's due to the aggressive growth that it's displayed over the last few months, month or so since it's gotten warm. Now, sugarcane, as I mentioned, is Poaceae family, which means it is a true grass. The word Saccharium comes from Greek saccharon, saccharon, which means sweet juice of sugarcane. Officinarium means of dispensaries. Basically, what it means is that it's the for really real deal. Now, originally, sugarcane is native to New Guinea, which is interestingly specific. It is a perennial in USDA zones 9 through 12. In 8, it's a maybe perennial. I treat it as an annual here. Brought it in for the winter. Its soil pH preference is 6.0 to 6.5. It needs a high level of organic content, and it needs a bunch of nitrogen fertilizer to do the best. It prefers an exposure of full sun, maybe partial. In this case, it gets full sun most of the day up until a little afternoon, but it gets the full laser sun otherwise. Its height can be 5 to 16 feet tall, and the spread, the underground culm that you can't see, can spread just about as far. This plant is also known by the common name Ko, with a little slash on top. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but that's what it's known as in Hawaii. Not native to there. Now, as I said, it's a very heavy feeder. It needs a lot of fertilizer to do its best to produce the most amount of sugar. It is tolerant of pollution, and believe it or not, it's one of the short list of plants that can grow under black and around black walnuts, which is kind of cool. Now, sugarcane was brought to the Americas by Columbus in 1493, and half of the modern world's sugar is grown in India and Brazil. Between those two. The interesting thing about sugarcane is that it produces the highest number of calories per square foot of growing area out of any crop available. The harvesting of cane is done before it flowers, and these guys are starting to extend, so flowering won't be far off, and then I'll have fresh cut sugar cane. A cane stand will usually last about 5 years and need about 40 to 50 inches of water per year, so they're very water intensive, which is another one of their problems. A lot of fertilizer, a lot of water, which means probably a lot of fertilizer runoff. Now, beyond that, 1 acre can yield an average of 39 tons of sugar. Corn, by comparison on water usage, needs 25 to 27 inches. Wheat needs 16 to 24. Sugar beets need 22 to 28. Sorghum needs about 28. And stevia needs about 2 inches per week. So comparatively, the other things we can pull sugar from, or similar grain crops, so forth, so on, gives you an idea what the usage rate is. Now, not corn. Corn has a history, but so does sugarcane. Sugarcane has a pretty dark history. In fact, it is wrapped around colonialism, slavery, indentured servitude, and how am I going to phrase this? Corporate criminality. The sugarcane plantains that are in the in the warmer climates often are backbreaking labor where the workers are undercompensated. Additionally, as you note, the sugar industry was recently found to have ginned up the report that fat was the cause of weight gain when it's actually sugar consumption. Sort of like how big tobacco tried to divert their health issues that their product was causing. It's the same old corporate maneuver. But of course, as I said, sugarcane, once it got to Europe, fueled a whole sugar frenzy. I'm going to include links to the problems with the sugarcane industry and the back history of slavery and colonialism because it's way too much to put in a video. I tried. Multiple scripts and attempts. I tried. And I kept finding new stuff, and I had to stop. It got a little depressing. But I'm going to include links on this one. So, sugarcane, you can grow it in your own out here in Zone 8B, but you're going to have to bring it in for the winter. And it has one other little hazard that I think you need to know about. On the edge of each of these leaves, there you can barely see it. I'm going to move this leaf up nice and close. It has a fine sawtooth edge which can cut you pretty bad if you're not careful. And boy, do those cuts itch. So sugarcane is no joke. It requires a lot of labor. Often that labor is exploited, has been for a long while. And it's one of the more trouble crops out there. And there's no true replacement for it. The sugar-free alternatives just taste wrong. Sugar beet sugar is different. Jackfruit sugar is different. Corn sugar is different. I can keep going. But anyway, if you have any thoughts on sugarcane, please put them in the comments section. If you've tried to grow sugarcane, and by the way, this was pink sugarcane. It's not very pink right now. Buzzkill. But anyway, if you have any thoughts about that, let me know. I'd love to hear it from you. And as always, folks, keep them growing, and thanks for watching. Check the links in the description.